Welcome to the Acting Magic channel. I'm Steve, the Actiri. Today we're going to be talking about Kess, Dissident Mage. But before we get into that, I want to let you know we've got a 30-day, 30 commander challenge where we look at the top 30 commanders for the past 2 years. So let's get into it. Oh, we'll have another video tomorrow. Yes. All right. Kess, Dissident Mage is a 4-drop, a red, black, blue, and 1 generic human wizard with flying. Why does she fly? I don't know, wizards fly apparently. She's a 3/4. It says during each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. If a card cast this way would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Basically gives everything flashback. Fantastic. All right, so some of these cards you're going to agree with, some of them you're not, but I think they're pretty sweet. Songs of the Damned is the first card we want to talk about today, and it is a cool card, but I think you have to build around it. It's 1 black instant. It says add a black mana for each creature card in your graveyard. Now, if you do build around it, this Songs of the Damned, being able to do it twice, you can do it once from your hand, you cast it from your hand, and then cast it from your graveyard. It's really, really powerful. However, you kind of have to build around it in that you're going to be doing a lot of wheel effects or self-mill effects that get those creatures into your graveyard. Now, the next one is Dark Ritual. This one's flat out the best one, I think. And it says for 1 black, add 3 black to your mana pool. Heck yeah. So in 1 turn, we can go from 1 black, 1 swamp with Kess, Dissident Mage, and Dark Ritual. We can, what is that? 5 mana? I think we end up with 5 mana from tapping 1 swamp. So it's pretty freaking cool. Cabal Ritual. So we have a lot of ways of reducing the mana cost of our instants and sorceries. So Cabal Ritual is probably going to be cast for 1 black mana. But it is a 1 black, 1 generic instant. It says add 3 green, or sorry, 3 black to your mana pool. Threshold. Add 5 black to your mana pool. Instead, if 7 or more cards are in your graveyard. This is good. Really, really good. And if you happen to have Threshold, which with Kess, you're going to have Threshold. You're going to be casting a lot of spells. You're doing self-mill. You're going to do wheels. You're going to have Threshold. So whenever Cabal Ritual goes off, if you cast it from your hand, the first time, say you don't have any mana reduction, the first time it's going to get you 5 mana. So you turn 2 mana into 5, and then you'll turn 5 mana into 8. It's fantastic. So Cabal Ritual gives you a ton of mana at instant speed. All right, number 5 on our list. I love these cards. This is one of the few places in Commander where I would recommend that you play cantrips. Ponder, Preorder, and Brainstorm, they're all cantrips. They all do really great things, but Ponder says, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may put them back in any order, or you may shuffle. Draw a card. So you can look at the top 3, put one of those on top, and then draw, or you can shuffle and then draw. So it's really great. Preordained says, scry 2 for one blue, scry 2, then draw a card. Heck yeah, put those crappy cards to the bottom and draw that great card on the next one. Brainstorm. Draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Get rid of that junk, shuffle it away with a fetch land, whatever it may be, from your hand. And it says just draw 3, put 2 back on top. Bar none, the best cantrip ever printed. And this is a card that gets to get played in basically every blue deck. All right, number 4 on our list. Let's reduce the casting cost of those wheels, shall we? So Goblin Electromancer is a blue and a red, and 2/2. It says instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Fantastic. Baral, Chief of Compliance. This is a singleton format, so we don't care that he's a legendary. It's a blue, it's a generic 1/3 human wizard. It says instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Heck yeah. Whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. This is really good if you have some non-zero number of counter spells in your deck. You can build a lot more counter spells into the deck. I don't really think that you should be doing that, but if you do, drawing and discarding a card is not a downside with Kess. So you've got nothing but upside with Brawl. It plays into what Kess is already doing. So cards like Exclude, a blue and 2 generic, and then counter target creature spell, draw a card. Those cards go so good with Brawl. I really, really like him. Number 4B. Now, these are a little bit more powerful than the last 2. Vadric Astral Archmage is a blue, red, and a generic. It says, okay, we're going to skip most of it. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is Vadric's power. So if you have any way of increasing his power, you can make all your instant or sorcery spells just cost less. So if you have any incidental ways of putting 1/1 counters on him, or any kind of equipment that you want to equip him with, he's fantastic. As soon as you get him to 2 power, or 3 power, your spells become so cheap that they're gonna struggle to keep up. Then there's Nightscape Familiar. I love this card. It's a black, it's a generic zombie. Blue spells and red spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And it regenerates for a black and a generic. What? I can Blasphemous Act and keep my Nightscape Familiar? Heck yeah. He's hard to get rid of. He's a very cool zombie. I like him a lot. All right, it even helps us reduce the casting cost of our commander. That's nice. All right, number 3, Icecrown Scepter. Would be remiss if this did not end up on our list. We're going to be casting so many instants and sorceries. 2 generic imprint. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile an instant card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your hand. Tap 2 generic. You may copy you may copy the exiled card. If you do, you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. So it's not just being put onto the stack. It's giving you a chance to cast the spell without paying its mana cost. So it's actually being cast. Icecrown Scepter is so choice. It's such a good card. If you ever get a mana drain on this thing, watch out, everybody else. Number 2 on our list is Jessica's Will. Holy cow. What a powerful card to be printed in the commander set. It's a red. It's 2 generic sorcery. Choose one. If you control a commander, as you cast a spell, you may choose both. Add a red for each card in target opponent's hand. And exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. So with all of our mana reduction cards, this can read pay 1 red, get a red for each card in a target opponent's hand, which is pretty disgusting. And then you're going to look at the top, you're going to exile the top 3 cards of your library. You can play those cards this turn. So it can get rid of lands that are just sitting on top. It can get you those more instant and sorcery spells that you need to kind of continue going off. It's fantastic. Number 1 on our list, though. This is a controversial pick. I freaking love this card. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. For the record, we're going to have a lot of instant and sorcery cards in our graveyard. You have no maximum hand size. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a knowledge counter on the magic mirror. Then draw a card for each knowledge counter on the magic mirror. This gets ridiculous. Really, really fast. It's a 9-drop, but you're like, wait a minute, it reduces for each card, each instant and sorcery card in my graveyard. This gets so big, or like it starts drawing you cards all the time. It's just a massive boost to whatever it is we're doing. We're going to have more cards in our hand. We're going to be able to cast those cards. But wait, there's more. Let's talk about the combo that literally almost every player that's playing Kess plays. This is fantastic. Okay, if you're not familiar with this combo, let me save the suspense. Okay, Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Consultation read, I win the game now. Okay, Thassa's Oracle. It says, when it enters battlefield, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is your devotion to blue. You may put up to 1 of them on top of your library, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If X is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library, you win the game. So, Demonic Consultation is an instant card, and it says name a card, remove the top 6 cards of your library from the game, and reveal the next card to all players. If it's the card name, put it in your hand. If not, remove that card from the game and continue revealing cards from the top of your library and removing it from the game until the named card appears. This basically, you name a card in response to Thassa's Oracle trigger going onto the stack. You name a card that doesn't exist in your deck. I don't know, Llanowar Elves. And you go milling through your deck and you remove your library from the game. Thassa's Oracle's enter the battlefield ability checks, and then whenever you have no more cards in your graveyard or library because they're being exiled, they're not being drawn, you're not going to lose from Demonic Consultation. As soon as Thassa's Oracle's ability checks, you win because your cards and the number of cards in your library are equal to 0. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for coming out. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Sorry I was a little bit flustered today, but I can't wait to see you tomorrow when we have another video. Love you guys. Bye. Oh, button.